Tracy Timberlake, a digital business strategist, and you're watching Women Unleashed on Germaniac TV.
Hey, 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 everyone. Welcome, 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 Germaniacs. Alicia Couri here, your red carpet CEO, and I'm here to influence, educate, inspire, and entertain you with audacious confidence. So please connect with me on all social media sites at the Alicia Couri. And with me is my co-host. I think he's coming on screen.
I'm Sebastian.
Here he is.
I'm right here. A little bit of delay. I'm Sebastian Onne, the Almost Naked CEO, currently reporting from the planet Earth. And the time right now is amazing, even though I'm getting stuck while I'm talking. I'm the male pope of branding and PR. I create and coach entrepreneurs and help brands to use the power of creativity, engagement, and leadership to bring brands and communities together. And please follow me on any social media at Szebastian Onne.
Yes. And you're watching Women Unleashed on Germaniac TV. Yeah, we're getting quite a delay today, but that's okay because we're here and we want to invite you to share this broadcast out because you know what? Sharing is caring. I don't know if
Tag a friend you want to come along and watch with you right now.
And share this on your own timeline. And you can share it also in groups. And you know what? If you're on your phone, you can swipe up and share it as a private message on Messenger.
Share as a message with your buddy.
And if you are watching this live, please drop a hashtag live in the comments. If you're watching this on replay, drop a hashtag replay in the comments and tell us where you're joining us from.
And remember, drop in a hello in the comments so that we know you're here. We love giving shout outs. And remember, we can only see the comments if you are tuned in via facebook.com/Germaniac TV.
Yes, you have to be on Germaniac TV in order for us to see your comments live. So if you have a friend who is not on Facebook, because we know some people are not on Facebook, I don't know why, but if they're not, they can always watch on www.germaniac.com/live. So you can send them to our website. That's www.germaniac.com/live. Do you want to spell that out for everybody? It's D-R-E.
Absolutely.
Right.
D-R-E-M-A.
I know we're both spelling at the same time. We'll just type it on the screen to make it easier. We'll just type it on the screen to make it easy for you.
It's just coming on the screen as we speak. So there we go.
Excellent.
I think there's a little bit of delay. Technology is funny. So there you go.
Yeah. And that's what happened. So listen, you're watching Women Unleashed, Season 1, Episode 10. Can you imagine? We've done 10 episodes of this. And I want to tell you that this show is brought to you by SebastianOnne.com. No, just Sebastian.com and AliciaCouri.com.
I think there's a lot of delay today. So it's by the time we realize Facebook is just moving a little bit. Facebook is tired.
We're moving in slow motion. That's what's happening.
Yeah, pretty much. All right.
Awesome.
So do you want to introduce our guest?
Okay, yes. So I'm going to, listen, we have such, we bring the most amazing and phenomenal people to share with you, to share what they're doing and how they can help influence your life so that you can dream big and make it happen. So today we have Dr. Tracy Timberlake in the green room waiting to come on board. And let me tell you a little bit about Dr. Tracy before you bring her up. Oh, you brought her up already. I didn't want you to bring her up yet. I wanted to talk about her a little bit before we saw her beautiful face. Oh my goodness. Yes. So she is an entrepreneur, a YouTube beauty vlogger turned coach, influencer, and speaker who's worked with some of the biggest brands like L'Oreal, Turkish Airlines, Marc Jacobs. And she actually bought into this fantasy. I know all of us did before, bought into this fantasy that get a good education, get a good corporate job, and success will follow. Well, that's not what happened, but she's here blazing a trail for others to follow in the digital world. So welcome, 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 Dr. Tracy Timberlake.
Yay! Hello, hello. How are you? How is everybody? Thank you for having me here. Hello to those of you who are watching us live. And if you're catching the replay, we're glad you're here.
Yes. So I just want to back it up a little bit because we talked about, in your intro, I mentioned that you bought into this whole fantasy that you get a good education, get a good job. You know, you had big dreams when you were growing up. And how did that manifest itself for you when you thought, uh-oh, this is not working?
You know, I think that growing up, I did everything according to what they said was right. Like I was a really good student and I had really good grades and went to college on a scholarship. And I, for all intents and purposes, really liked school. The problem that I was finding is that every job that I had after I left school, and all the jobs were great. I worked in corporate, I worked in nonprofit, I worked in higher ed. And every job that I had, I would kind of get this feeling in my gut that there was just something more. Like I would be there for 8 months, a year and a half, and I'd be like, is this really it? Like I feel like there's so much more. And I was seeing so much more at the same time, like the opportunities that were presented themselves, you know, in the world. I was like, there's got to be more than this.
Yes. And there was a point you said that you felt like you were living someone else's life. Why did you say that specifically?
Because I think that there are people and were people who would really have loved being in the jobs that I was in. Because like I said, I had great jobs. I, you know, worked in upper level management and higher ed administration. And for some people, those would have been dream jobs, dream careers. They just weren't mine. And I didn't want to selfishly take it when I know that somebody else could come in and they would just be living their best life, you know, in this position. So I wanted to give them the opportunity to do that and give myself an opportunity to live my best life too.
So that is very interesting because living someone else's life, the way you explained it, it is completely different than what I envisioned when I read it. So that's interesting because when you said living someone else's life, to me, I thought you meant someone else's expectation of what your life should be.
And to a degree, yes, I think that because on the outside looking in, that was the expectation. But I think as I started to move more into entrepreneurship and using the online space to do that, it's so funny because everybody around me was like, oh, yeah, of course, like, duh, like, of course you're doing that. So it wasn't even a surprise to everybody when I made a transition.
Yeah. So because I know there are people who feel, I know I felt it in my life too, that you're either living someone else's expectations, but I love the way you said it, that I wasn't living my best life and someone else would see this as their best life. Sure. And so let me vacate this spot and give them the opportunity to live it. So guys, if you're watching, type a 1 in the comments if you have ever felt that way. If you've ever felt like you're living someone else's life, either that you can vacate this and someone else will think it's their best life, or that, you know, you're living inside of someone else's expectation for your life. So, you know, comment, and remember, you have to be on Germaniac TV on Facebook in order for us to see your comments. So, oh, that is so incredible. So when you had that moment and you had that aha moment, I read that you were on your bathroom floor. Many a times on the bathroom floor this happens. Tears on the bathroom floor.
All my ideas, all my articles come from the bathroom floor.
Sitting on the bathroom floor. So when you were on the bathroom floor, and you had that flat iron in your hand,
Mm-hmm.
what was going through your mind at the time?
Good question. Let me go back to that moment. I think what was going through my mind is, well, I might as well just share, because people were asking me about the things that I was using for my hair, my skin, my face, my makeup, all that stuff anyway, in my real life. And I was tired of answering the same question. And so I said, well, let me just talk about it, and then this would be the thing that I share to my family and friends whenever they ask. I didn't have this large expectation for where it would take me.
Like, there was no plan.
No, there was no plan. Here's a video about a flat iron, and off I go. I didn't realize that it was going to be such a catalyst to where my life would go. But I'm glad that I did it, and I'm glad I made the choice to make that video.
Which is often what happens when you are being led internally, instead of like through your mind thinking, oh, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and it's going to blow up, and blah, blah, blah. When you're really living instinctively, and you're saying, answering again the questions that you keep getting. And that's a clue right there, guys. If you're thinking entrepreneurship, answer the question that everybody's asking you, that you have to keep repeating, and then make a video. Make a video with all the answers to it. And so that took you to one video, to another video, and then suddenly you were like a YouTube sensation.
Yeah, well, it was something. I mean, it wasn't an overnight situation, but it was certainly it was a fun thing that I was doing. There was such a community of women who were on YouTube kind of doing the same thing. So we all kind of became just friends. And then YouTube started to recognize it. And YouTube said, oh, like, let's actually pay these people to be content creators on our platform. And then we got paid through them. Then brands started noticing and say, oh, well, let me send you stuff for free and then pay you to make videos about this. And it just snowballed from there. But I don't think any vlogger, I don't think any YouTuber in the beginning of YouTube, I don't think any of us thought that it would be a thing where we would be able to make money from it.
Because this was years ago. This was in 2007?
Yeah, I think, was it 2007? That might have been the first one. But in 2011, 2012 is really when YouTube started to allow people to kind of monetize this.
Nice.
So 2012, I think, is like
that's around the time. And so having seen kind of the evolution of that yourself, and now being a digital marketer, you're seeing that all these people, because we want to do a poll, because all these people are suddenly thinking, oh, yay, all I have to do is get on YouTube, get 1 million viewers, and my life will be set.
No. I wish that it was that easy, but it is not. And it's a big thing, because even as a YouTuber, when I was YouTubing kind of, more often, and it was something that I was doing on a consistent basis, it felt like a full-time job, but I was working in a full-time job at the same time. And it's very difficult to monetize just YouTube, right? Just making videos. And then you have brand sponsorships, but then you feel like you have like 97 different bosses who are like, well, when are you posting? When are you putting it up? Say this instead. And so something really had to change. Otherwise, I was either going to quit YouTube or I had to fix it. Like something had to change. So in that, I remember the day, it was 2015, and I remember it was August, and I was walking my dog at the time, and I said, something's got to change, because either I give up YouTube and I find something else, or, because I just felt like I was spent. And so from there, that's when I kind of discovered this world of digital entrepreneurship, like being an online coach, being somebody who helps other people with the skill set that you have. And so I made a transition to help other people understand how to use the power of YouTube for their brand. Mostly entrepreneurs, small businesses, and YouTube was like this big mystery, like, oh, I don't know how to use it. I can't get any viewers. And I was like, oh, okay. So I started to help them, and then other social media platforms as well. And it was kind of a very organic transition for me. I was like, oh, you need help with that? Great, I'll help you. And then That's how my business was birthed.
That's awesome. And then that's one of the biggest myths then that people have, is that they just need a gazillion followers, which is super easy to get, right?
Right, because you can buy them.
you can just buy, right, 1 million followers, and then boom, the money will just roll in.
Right.
So we're gonna put up a poll, right, Szebastian? We're gonna put up a poll.
It's already active.
Oh, perfect.
It's already active.
Okay, so the poll is, do you believe that you need tons of followers on social media in order to make money? That's our online poll. So answer yes, no, or I'm not sure. As we continue, so go ahead and click the poll.
Poll time.
Poll
And
time.
if you're not sure, contact Dr. Tracy Timberlake.
Yeah,
please.
if you're not sure, check out Dr. Tracy Timberlake, because she will get you, she will help you. So, Szebastian, do you have, I know you had a couple questions you wanted to ask her. I've been hogging her because I just want everything she has. I want to just pull everything out of her, but you could go ahead.
It's a valid conversation, so it doesn't really matter. Well, speaking of, number of followers and everything, and I was one of those people who believed you have to have huge number of followers to be recognized. And that's not how success happened for me. I actually did not have any followers. While trying to find how can I gain followers, I actually started realizing how to actually get the real customers.
Yeah.
So,
right. That's important.
So my question to you, Tracy, is there's lots of people out there who are buying these followers, not the followers who really are followers, but buying the followers.
Mm-hmm.
And that creates an illusion of authority, but they're really real content. So do you have any advice for people like that?
Yeah, I think, people want all of these followers really just for vanity, because they think that having all of these followers is going to equate into money. But the truth of the matter is if you don't know how to convert a small following, you will not be able to convert a large following. It doesn't matter how many millions of people you have, right? How many millions of people you have, because I know a lot of people, a lot of clients come to me, even from the YouTube world, who have hundreds and thousands of followers, even on YouTube, and for all intents and purposes are a brand, but they end up being branded very well and also broke because they don't know how to translate followers into actual dollars in their pocket. And so really that's one of the things that I help them do, is I help them to understand how to monetize their following. You can have as many followers as you like. I've seen people make $1 million from 250 followers that are super duper engaged and high paying customers and clients. And I also have clients who have made hundreds of thousands of dollars working with thousands of followers. So it doesn't matter. The point is that can you position yourself as an authority figure in your niche, whatever niche that is? Can you convert the audience that you're currently making? People are looking for leaders in the online space now. Like it is a thing. They're looking for people to lead them in whatever industry. Leadership does not always mean that you have 1 million followers, right? Start with where you are and then build from there, because authentic engagement, authentic tribe and community interaction really matters more than just having numbers from they can be from Bangladesh, like not even your ideal client, just a whole bunch of random people that are following you.
That's so true.
Yeah, and what's interesting is I actually when I look at people who have a lot of followers, I always look at the engagement rate, because if you have 25,000 Instagram followers, but you have 52 likes on your Instagram post, then you have purchased many of your followers. That's a great way to gauge.
Yeah. So what I want to ask, because you decided to go back to school because you were doing this digital media thing. You said you were walking your dog, you were doing the digital media thing, frustrated because it's like, what is really, where is the money? I'm making some money, I'm getting some free stuff, but why do I still have to work a job? So you went back to school to study and get your doctorate in digital media or in marketing, digital media, and all of that. So tell us a little bit about that.
So I was already in school at the time, but my study was, because I was working in higher ed, I was doing a different study. It was on human resources and social media and how human resources were using social media. But then as I made this transition into my business, I said, well, if I'm going to do this, I really want to understand it from an empirical perspective. Like I need to make sure that I can speak on this from an authority place and not just, oh, well, I have a whole bunch of YouTube followers. You can too. Like I wanted to make sure that I was going to position myself in a unique way in the industry. And while coaching and consulting is the fastest growing industry in the world, there aren't a lot of people who do it from a research-based perspective that I do. So I wanted to study women, specifically women entrepreneurs, and then this concept of business coaching that exists. Like what was it that contributed to their success when it came to getting a business coach, if that's what I was going to call myself. And so I spent, 3 years of my life, 3.5 years of my life or so, diving deep into the industry, studying it, conducting a study myself, interviewing hundreds of women. I have thousands and thousands and thousands of pages of research to put together a concise study on the topic of women, online entrepreneurship, and business coaching.
There you go. So if you're a woman who wants a business online, you need to talk to Dr. Tracy Timberlake. Seriously, because she studied it, she figured it out, and she has the formula to help you make the money online as well as get your business together the right way. So I just want to invite viewers, because I know we have viewers looking at all these different pages, watching us everywhere across Facebook. I want to invite you to the Dramaniac TV page, because if you're commenting, if you're sharing anything on any of those other pages, we cannot see your comments and interact with you. So please come over to @Dramaniac TV on Facebook so that you can ask Tracy questions, you can interact with us. Please come on over to the Dramaniac TV page. Yes, so.
Absolutely. If you're not there, if you're watching anywhere else, because we are right now broadcasting for at least 20 different pages, your comments are not being seen, and we're not being rude. We just don't know that you're commenting. So please come to Facebook @Dramaniac TV. And speaking of, being a doctor, in actually studying social media, researching about it, and interlinking it with women and entrepreneurship, that's the thing. A few years ago, not a long time ago, 5 years ago, people may not have even thought of social media as something to study about.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And it has become so important, because social media is not just social media, it's data, it's information, it's real lives involved, real businesses involved. So do you want to tell people a little bit from that perspective, why is it important to take social media very seriously as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I think, if anything, we can take a look at where social media has taken us in just the last few years, really, and we can see how it has become critical to how people live their life, how people make their decisions, how consumers react to things like consumer behavior, psychology. Every kind of ology, every sociological study can be done from a social media perspective, because it is so integrated in the way that we live our lives today. We live and die by, our cell phones and what we're scrolling through on a daily basis. And I think if you are anybody in the entrepreneur space, really any industry, utilizing, like you said, the data that's available for us on social media, you'd be remiss not to do that, right? And I tell people, listen, if you're not on social media now, you're already behind. So we've got to get you caught up, because it's not going anywhere. And even if Facebook, as it stands today, Facebook is, the largest social media platform. Even if Facebook goes away, there's going to be another one that comes along after it, because it is the way that we interact with each other.
And it's so interesting.
There's so much advantage in terms of, sorry, Alicia, I just cut you off. There's so much advantage in terms of entrepreneurship, connecting directly with the buyer or the user of your brand. And there is no filter, there is no message lost. The communication is so interactive, real time, that you have great opportunities to improve your business, to improve your services, to improve your product, and actually deliver better each time, right?
Yes.
And what I was going to mention is, we talked about big data. Big data is running running everything now, running marketing, running everything. And so if businesses are not aware of the impact of social media, I cannot believe there's still people out there, there's still entrepreneurs, because we come across them all the time, that say, oh, I don't have a Facebook page. Oh, I don't do
social.
Facebook. I don't
Yeah.
do social media. I'm only on LinkedIn. I'm only here. You know, how is that impacting their bottom line?
Well, it's impacting their bottom line significantly, because the interesting thing about social media is, if anything, all it does is contribute to where it is you're trying to go, right? And there is an opportunity that is available for all of us to be there on social and to utilize it. Really, what we're doing is we're just perverting what social media was intended for, to allow us to get our desired outcome, right? It was never really intended
to prove that. I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt, but this is important, just to prove how important social media is. Your mom is right here, right now, on social media.
I know, your mom is saying, yeah.
Right. And, you know, my mom's in her 60s and she loves social media. She's actually great on it. But yeah, absolutely. Like, when you are not utilizing the technology, it's so funny to me when people are like, oh, I hate social media, I just hate it. And I'm like, you are hating the very thing that is meant to be a catalyst for your expansion. Like, why are we hating technology? Why are we fighting against it? Because it is such a way for us to get our message out into the world. You can only speak to so many people on a daily basis, right? Even living in Miami, a city of millions of people, I can't meet all those millions of people, you know, probably in my entire life, but I can touch millions of lives using the power of social, with the message that I have, and using it as a catalyst for not only my growth, but really the growth of the collective.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Sebastian.
I just want to say, I think we are the real life example. Germaniac started on the social media. Alicia and I have never met in real life. Tracy, you and I have never met, and we guys have connected, and we're doing this show. And you know, this is an entire brand running from people who have never met in real life. At least, you know, when we do Alicia and me.
Yes, and I was actually going to sort of talk about the same point, is that Germaniac TV would not be in existence without social media, and the fact that this is a global community that we've created instantly by starting Germaniac TV, just for the mere fact that Sebastian's in Australia, we are in Florida, and we're spanning across multiple nations, multiple countries, multiple languages. There's no way that we could have done that traditionally.
No.
In such a quick.
Yeah, not this easy.
Not this easy. Yeah.
Right.
So, you know, digital media, we have to start embracing social media and look at it, even from as an entrepreneur or a business, look at it through the eyes of business. If you're someone that's saying, oh, I don't like it, I don't like this, I don't, look at it through the eyes of how is it going to benefit you in your business. And you can even have someone else run your social media if you don't like to be on it.
Correct.
But appreciate it and use it to your advantage.
To your advantage, because that's what we're all, I mean, and we can all move further in society when we do that, because of the availability of social media to so many different parts of the world.
Yes, exactly. So,
well,
go ahead,
and this is where the thing is. Anybody, especially an entrepreneur, who's saying, "Oh, I don't like social media. I don't like Facebook, and I don't like this, and I don't like that." My question to you is, 20 years ago, did you say, I don't like phones? I don't like to walk on the street? Because you need the street to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't like the house because it has a roof over it.
Right.
I like
I don't like cars. I prefer horses. Yeah, exactly.
We all win. So I cannot still be in a car. I have to have a car now, you know. And we need to, if I need to now come to you guys, I need to fly. I need a plane. That's what social media is today. It's communicating, and it's connecting, and it's bringing people together without the travel, without the expenses, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Thankfully. Thankfully, it allows us to do that.
Exactly. Okay, so Alicia, can you hear me?
Yes, I
Oh,
can
there you
hear.
go.
I can hear you. I
Right.
can see you. We want to take a quick break. Let's give Tracy a moment to have a glass of water or something. And we're just going to run through a couple housekeeping things for everyone. So thank you, Tracy. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
So if you're just tuning in right now, you've been watching Women Unleashed on Dramaniac TV, Season 1, Episode 10, with Dr. Tracy Timberlake as our guest, hosted by, obviously, Alicia Couri, the personal branding expert and the founder of Red Carpet CEO. If your teams are lacking productivity and are not happy in their work environment, you need to talk to Alicia Couri. And I am Szebastian Onne. I'm the founder of Szebastian.com and, of course, Dramaniac TV, along with Alicia Couri. If you need any help with branding, social media, leadership training, you contact me at Szebastian.com. And speaking of which, Tracy is kind of my competitor right now, but that's fun because we'll always learn from each other. I believe in the power of collaboration and not competition. So I'm going to bring the girls back up. Alicia coming back up again, and now comes Tracy. Welcome back, girls.
Hey, ladies, not girls. We're not girls. We are ladies.
Lady.
Right. I'm still a boy. I'm still a boy.
You're still a boy. So really a couple things. We have Dr. Tracy Timberlake with us. If you're joining us for the first time, again, please come over to Dramaniac TV on Facebook. If you would like to leave a comment and share your comments with us so that we can interact with you. Again, post the link when you ask us to watch. The link to watch is at Dramaniac TV. And if you are not on Facebook, you can always catch the show live on dramaniac.com/live. We're broadcasting live on our website. And we are talking to Dr. Tracy Timberlake, Season 1, Episode 10 of Women Unleashed. And she is an entrepreneur, digital media strategist, and she is here to help us all learn how to use social media, how to use the digital world to our advantage. And I love, love, love what you said, Tracy, about when you learned that you could make money being yourself when you started your YouTube channel. That made all the difference. Mm-hmm. I tell my kids that all the time. When you know you have the power to make money on your own without having someone hire you, that you can make money on your own, how vital is that for people to understand?
I've come to realize that the things that we have on the inside, the things that make us who we are, our gifts, our talents, our education, our experience, everything that we've kind of gone through is never really just for us. It is always meant to be something that we end up sharing. And because we live in a day and age where people need people, to help them kind of move forward, you have something that other people are looking for. So be the answer to somebody's problem. Mm-hmm. When it comes to being yourself, I think, first of all, you have to kind of come to terms with the fact that you are who you are. There were so many times, especially growing up, where I wished that I was different, because I always had these kind of big dreams and I always wanted bigger things for myself. And I would look around me and everybody kind of was just
there.
Fine.
They're just fine.
They were just fine. Yeah. Like on whatever trajectory they were on. And that was never enough for me. It's always about wanting to move forward and growing, but not only that, but also impacting. And when I realized that I was able to do that just by being me, just by showing up and being myself, I was like, this is terrific. And if I could get other people to understand this, I think the world would just be a better place.
Wow, that is so exciting. That's amazing, because it's not for everyone. Entrepreneurship is not for everyone. And the idea that you can have a great job, you can be making the money you want to make, and that's okay for you. And that's fine. We're not here judging anyone or judging anyone's life. If you're happy where you are, that's great. But if you find yourself unhappy, and like we said earlier in the show, how Tracy felt like she was living someone else's life, if you find that either based on someone else's expectations or your own expectation of your life, then there is something else for you. So we're not judging anyone else's lifestyle. You're happy where you are. But if you are not, and you feel that stirring on the inside of you, that is what we're addressing with entrepreneurship and being able to discover how to make money just being yourself and not having to have a boss tell you what to do, but wanting to be your own boss, basically. and
you're gonna follow your passion, right? You're just gonna follow your passion. If you're passionate about your job, if you like working in what you're doing, great. And if you want to have freedom, if you want to be an entrepreneur and take control of how things run, then that's what you do.
I think to that point, the latest statistic is 70% of people in America hate their job. And the word was used, hate. Like, that is a strong word. Not just like, oh, I don't like this job. Oh, I just, want to do. It's 70% of people hate their job. And then there are all those psychological studies which show that people are depressed because, of where they are. Having said that, the reason why people are following that trajectory is because it is what has been laid out in front of them. It is the example that they've been given. It is the evidence that they have collected over their lifetime. Yep. So part of what I was doing, because when I was growing up, I didn't know any entrepreneurs. My dad was in the military. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. Like, I didn't know entrepreneurs. I lived in a very normal apple pie, middle-class neighborhood where everybody's parents worked. And so moving into this entrepreneurship world was very scary and very different because I didn't know anybody. I didn't have evidence that this could be successful. So really part of what I do, and I know, Alicia, you'd mentioned this in the post, but really is to live my life in a way to show people what's possible for theirs. And you can take something and turn it into a career when it was nothing before that, right? I mean, that's how every innovation was created. But yeah, if you are called to be a doctor, please be a doctor. We need great doctors.
We need them.
If you're called to be a police officer, be the most amazing police officer ever. Politician. I mean, there are many pillars of society that we need. Yeah. But entrepreneurship is one of them. And if you are called to be an entrepreneur, then be the best entrepreneur that you could possibly be, because it matters to how we are showing not just the people around us, our peers, but also our legacy, our posterity, the children coming after us, what is available to them moving forward. And to that point, I usually speak at different career days all over South Florida, and children are looking at what's available online and they see it as viable careers. They see being an influencer, being an entrepreneur on YouTube, or just being an entrepreneur in general, or being an influencer. They see those as viable.
As my son does.
Right. And they have no problem. And they're like, I want to be an influencer. And I'm like, okay.
And that's why we have to teach them the right way in the beginning.
Yes.
And that it's not about just grabbing a whole bunch of social media following, but actually doing things that people want. And thank you, Marsha. She says she loves your work, Dr. Tracy, on social media. Hi, Marsha. And you're just, it's absolutely true. And when I do the same thing. We speak at career days. And when I talk at career day, I don't talk about I talk about entrepreneurship, just because when you ask these kids something, it's always about, well, I want to be either an athlete or a doctor or a dancer or J-Lo, So giving them the idea that entrepreneurship is bigger than just a job, and opening and expanding their minds to it. And I think, Szebastian, you had a question you wanted to ask.
Oh, first of all, I have a comment. So if anybody finds out how to be J-Lo, let me know, because I will be first.
I know, right? I'm next. Because I actually want to be J-Lo.
Well, I call the game, so I go first. Speaking of influence and children watching and looking at the different avenues that we have, there also comes responsibility with influence. Once you become an influencer, once people start noticing you, how you say things, how you present yourself, what information you do provide, what content you put out there. I'm not going to name, but Alicia knows what I'm talking about. There are influencers out there who are famous, but there is a way to inspire. And this is the thing. And Tracy, please let me know what you think. The message they have is outstanding. I'm inspired. But when I have to hear, to do bleeping this, you have to bleeping be, bleeping, 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 it's difficult. I like the message. I don't like the F dropping in. So with influence, I believe, also comes responsibility, right?
Yeah, I do think that, well, not that I think, I know that with influence comes responsibility. And when you hold a platform where other people are looking at you, hi, Nicole, where other people are looking at you, it doesn't really matter how big your audience is at that point. You just, if somebody's watching, you know, you're now responsible for the things that you say. Having said that, I think that what social media allows for people to do is to really be themselves. And for some people, you know, that's the language that they choose to use. That's who they're completely authentic to themselves. And that is going to resonate with people. Having said that, there are people who do not like or appreciate that sort of language. And so it's important for those of us who do not use that language to speak as loudly and to be as present and visible as them, to give people an alternative, because while the message is great, sometimes I get it. Like, we just don't connect with different people. But that message
is there's room for everyone. There's room for everyone.
Exactly.
Every experience. And speaking of experiences, you have a huge conference coming up. This is your third annual?
Yes, this is the third
annual Flourish Media Conference. Tell us what inspired you to start it and what it's all about.
Well, it was actually inspired by one of my partners, Vivian. She was having a conversation with someone, and he's an investor, and he said she was making a joke about, you know, women or giving women money to you know, further their business. Like, well, you have all this money, why don't you give it to them? And he was like, okay. And so we were like, so she was like, okay, so that's how the Flourish Media Conference really came together. Vivian's there in the blue. And so they didn't want us just sending them, you know, women to their office. They were like, listen, I'm a busy person. If you can just get them all in one room, we will talk to them. And this is how much money we're willing to invest in women-owned businesses. And we were like, great. So that's how the Flourish Media Conference was started, really to just get women own businesses in the same room so they can have conversations with our investors. And then it has grown since then to just be it's more than, we like to say it's more than an empowerment.
It's teaching,
conference.
It's learning,
it is education.
It's connecting.
Right. We love empowerment. We will empower you, but we will also educate you so that you have actionable steps after you leave the conference. And of course, if you're looking to, you know, have a conversation with our investors, we have a whole pitch not a competition, but a pitch presentation on Saturday where they are the people who've invested in pitching. They get a chance to pitch their business for up to $15 million of investment funding from our investors. Not our investors, our partners, our partner investors.
So it is not this weekend.
It's in 2 weeks. It is February 22nd and 23rd here in Miami, Florida. It is Friday and Saturday, and we just go from 9 to 5 on both of those days. It's amazing. The women that you meet in there, and usually it's not even just, you know, what you'll learn from the speakers. A lot of the times people connect with one another, and then they end up working together as clients.
Collaboration.
You know, right. It's just collaboration. It's a terrific space where you meet up with like-minded women who are ready to move forward and are ready to partner with people, you know, to do that.
And it's women only?
Well, we are women focused, but men friendly. So men are allowed to come. But for the investment, the business has to be 51% owned by a woman in order for them to receive the investment.
Excellent. And can you tell us what the investment is? Because we do have a special for those watching Women Unleashed.
Yes. So right now, until February 13th, we have a flash sale of 20% off. You can use the code TRIBE. What was it? Tribe something. I don't know. We'll put the code up.
We'll put the code up.
And the code will give you 20% off. Yes. And then, so tickets range anywhere from student tickets that are like $50, I think, or $60 to 2-day tickets and moving on from there. So if you can
VIP, so we have
VIP tickets,
you have regular tickets and VIP tickets, and so depending on the the type of experience you want, you're looking to have. Plus, you have for pitch, if you want to pitch your business for investment, you know, you have to make sure that you're in that section. So they need to go to, is it Eventbrite or
you can find it on Eventbrite, or you can go to flourishmediaconference.com, and you can also, the link to purchase it, the tickets are there as well. flourishmediaconference.com.
Excellent. And so this is the 3rd year running. Again, it is a conference meant to educate you in business, as a woman-owned business, in digital media, in every area of business.
Every area of business.
Every area of business.
Right. Legal, accounting. We have, lawyers and accountants come and speak to our people. We want to give you as many tools as you possibly can. And every person who attends is automatically entered to win a $1,500 scholarship of business tools. So,
wow. There we go.
Awesome.
That is
all
awesome.
This information is also available at dramaniac.com/Tracy. You'll find all the links and how to contact Tracy and everything on dramaniac.com/Tracy.
Yes.
This has been very inspiring. One question I did want to ask about when you are on social media. So like we're doing these shows and we broadcast on a bunch of pages, and you've been a YouTube vlogger. And so when you go live and you're doing shows, sometimes you have people that troll, and I know they're out there, especially, I won't mention the I won't mention the social media outlet, but there are those that are just there to be nasty and mean and say things. They're there. So how do you deal with them, or how do you suggest people deal with it?
I know the one that starts with T.
Yeah, I'm one of those, thankfully, I'm one of those people that does not get a lot of trolls. I mean, or maybe they exist and I just don't notice them. I don't know.
They're out of your range,
right.
your vision.
And I think really setting the intention that that's not going to matter, because not everybody's going to like your message. And you have to remember that the people who are doing the trolling, honestly, it's more about them than it is about you. They're feeling some kind of way about themselves. And some of them have actually come and told me this, ones who have done negative, who have posted negative, and really it's just because they're not happy with their own life. And so making other people feel not great about what they're doing in the world makes them feel a little bit better. But, the delete button is there for you at any point. The block button is also available to you as well. And you don't have to subject yourself. And it's not even for me. If I see something negative that I feel like doesn't resonate with my messaging, I will delete it, not because my feelings are hurt, but I delete it because I don't want my followers.
You don't want it to be a distraction.
Right. For them to be subject to that kind of negative energy. So I will just delete it more for more my community than for me. Like, I can take it. It's fine. Like, what you say is not going to change what I'm doing. So.
Right.
You're not the one that's out here that has to put themselves, on the line all the time. And so it takes a great deal of courage to even be able to do some of the things that we do online, right? And to speak about the things in a polarizing way that isn't often going to be received. And we know it's not going to be received well. It takes a great deal of courage. So any of you guys who are doing that out there, I just commend you. Yeah. And I am proud of all of you guys. And just congratulations for being such a force of good in this world where, there's not a lot of that is being highlighted.
It is so true, because when you step out, and I think this is what holds a lot of people back from doing it, is the opinion of others. Mm-hmm. And so you have to get to a point where, not that you don't care what other people have to think in a negative way, but what other people think is not going to stop me from doing or carrying out the mission that I have. So it's not a question of, like you said, it doesn't bother me. I just don't want that negativity projected on my audience for them to have to deal with it. Because the thing is too, what I've noticed is sometimes when I post something, if someone says something negative about it, your tribe defends you. Your tribe comes in defense of you. And sometimes you may not want them to have to do that. Right. So you just delete it so that they don't have to come in defense of you, which is great. It's wonderful, because then you know for sure that you're making an impact. And it's not about me. It's that they are getting something out of my message that impacts them in a very positive way for them to stand up for me like that.
Yes.
So sometimes once you get your tribe.
Mm-hmm. Right. And, thankfully, thank you to all of you guys who do that, because it does matter to us who are out here, like I said, putting ourselves out on the line, because it does matter. It matters a great deal to know that we're impacting people's lives in that way. But hopefully, no one, hopefully people just get their lives together and stop trolling.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
that's really what we want to happen.
Right.
One thing that we also need to make sure is when somebody's trolling, not just delete anything, don't react, because when you react, you feed them, you empower them, and then you really give them the reason and benefit that, yes, this is why I'm trolling, because there is a reaction. If you ignore, as I said, delete, but also ignore in your mind as well, and just move on to what your focus is, what your campaign is.
Don't get into an argument.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
They will vanish. They will vanish because they will see that they're not getting the fodder they're there for.
Right.
Yeah, and you know, to that end, I want to make mention, because this is Women Unleashed, and ladies, I want to be very clear. Like, I have studied this industry. I know what's happening in the online space, and women are the worst at this. We are the worst when it comes to this. I'm like, we have got to because some of the stuff that women will say to other women, they would never say to a man. Men wouldn't say to each other. So ladies, we have got to uplift and edify and stop judging people for the things that they're doing, especially when the things that they're doing aren't hurtful. It's not, you know, they're actually trying to be helpful.
And it's not hurting you. So absolutely. I totally agree.
I'm actually going to mention a TEDx that I recently watched. By Tabitha, I forget her name. She's the hairdresser.
Tabitha.
She talked about on TEDx, like she said, "I am a bitch," and the entire topic is about. It's not about that. It's a bad thing. It's about not letting your power be given away if somebody calls you that, and also, as you just mentioned, that's how it came to my mind. That the biggest enemy of a woman are women. The gossip, the bitching, the jealousy, and she said a very great thing. Use the same knowledge and same power to empower each other, to be each other's warriors, not enemies. You know?
Yeah.
Absolutely, because that is how we all move forward instead of tearing each other down. And as you talked about that social media trends and everything, tell me, what are some of the trends in social media? Like, is video marketing still hot? Is
Always.
You know, Instagram, you know, is the Instagram the leader? And tell me, because I had a conversation yesterday with a business owner of mine, friend of mine, and she was saying, I need to get on Instagram because that's really where my clients or potential clients are. And I'm only on LinkedIn, but they're not on Instagram. So give me.
Well, I would definitely say it's industry specific. Like, if you are, you know, a fashion boutique or something, then LinkedIn probably is not the best place for you. You're going to want to be on Instagram or have lookbooks on YouTube. If I were to start my business all over again, I always tell people I would start it on Instagram, just because of my personal brand, because it's a visual brand. It is one that, you know, where I can talk and take pictures. So Instagram works for me. But if I'm working in a corporate environment and I'm dealing with corporate executives, like I'm a C-suite coach or something, then LinkedIn is going to be the best place for you, while still being present on the other platforms. If you're looking into paid advertising, Facebook is always going to be the best ROI, just because of the more intricate targeting system. Video, live streaming, that is going to, you know, put you a couple of notches up on the algorithm, no matter what platform you're on. So make sure that you're streaming live on Facebook, Instagram as well. So, and YouTube is always going to be relevant simply because of the SEO that is available. And so many people, I tell this people all the time, so many people neglect what YouTube can do for your business. My whole business was built on really just YouTube in the beginning. And then it expanded from there because I was able to target the people that I wanted to reach with strategically placed videos with SEO built out on the back end, so that when those people were doing Google searches, they could find me on YouTube. So YouTube is not irrelevant. Please just make one good video on YouTube. You will be thankful for it. In the long run. So every platform is relevant. It just matters about your industry, but be present everywhere.
Great information, Tracy. And thank you so much for all your comments. Thank you everyone for joining us as well. And don't forget, go to germaniac.com/Tracy for information on Flourish Media Conference, on information on how to get tickets. because we will link all those things to the website for you to purchase tickets. It is February 22nd and 23rd. It is for women-owned businesses. Men are welcome, but it is primarily for women-owned businesses to get the information you need to make your business strong and successful. Because Tracy's whole mission is don't just look good,
right?
You know, make the money.
Make the money, please.
Make
don't
the
be
money.
Branded and broke.
And don't
Do not be branded and broke.
Don't be branded and broke. Hashtag don't be branded and broke. So thank you so much, Tracy, for spending some time with us and sharing all the wonderful tips and tools and everything that you have for us. Dr. Tracy Timberlake here, guys. And we are looking forward to bringing you back on different shows to talk about other areas and other aspects of media and using your own power to influence others. So thank you, Dr. Tracy. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with you in a little bit. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for joining us on whichever page you were on here. This was Women Unleashed, Season 1, Episode 10. And we are streaming on Dramaniac TV live. And we just thank you so much for joining us. If you gained anything from this, please leave a comment for us. Please let us know what inspired you about this talk today and what you learned. And we are so thankful for you coming on board. So, co-host?
Because
here at Dramaniac TV, you dream big, and we make it happen. So we'll see you. Mwah. Bye, everybody.
See you guys.